Good afternoon.
Hi.
My name is Keiona Brooks, and I am a doctoral student at the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. And today we will be doing an intake interview, which generally takes about 50 minutes. Okay. I will be taking down some notes and jotting down a couple of things, so don't fret or anything like that. It's just so I can provide the best care for you.
Okay.
Do you have any questions or concerns before we begin?
No.
Okay, perfect. And so since you are an adult, everything that we discuss will be kept confidential with the exception of three things. Those three things are if you have any immediate danger or harm to yourself or others. Number two, any present or past abuse with child, elderly adults, or any kind of vulnerable population. And then lastly, if you were to get involved in any kind of legal matters, I may have to send my report to the courts.
Okay.
I just want to emphasize that I am a mandated reporter, and if any of those three things arise, I do have to intervene. Okay, so with that being said, if you can just go ahead and sign the consent form that just verifies we went over the limitations to our sessions. Perfect, thank you. Alrighty. And the last consent form that I need you to sign is in regard to recording. So I don't know if you noticed, but there's a tape recorder over there, and the tape recorder is solely used for the purpose of my supervisor, Dr. Linenfeld, who I'm sorry I didn't get to mention before, but Dr. Linenfeld is my supervisor, and she will be overseeing our sessions. Although she won't be present, she'll just have access to the recordings, and that will give her the opportunity to provide me feedback as a grown professional in this field. Okay? So if you don't mind, if you can sign that as well. Perfect. Thank you so much. So I do want to say thank you for coming in today. Can you just go ahead and describe what's going on right now with presenting issues?
Okay, yeah, I don't know, I haven't really been feeling great recently.
Okay.
I just feel really tired, and it's harder than normal, whatever's normal, to kind of like get out of bed and be motivated to do the things that I enjoy.
Okay. I'm sorry that you've been experiencing these feelings. Can you give me a timeline or a frame of when this actually started happening?
July.
July. Okay. And your current feelings as of right now, what would you say on a scale to 1 to 10? How are you feeling? 1 being very sad, 10, being good.
So like 10, I'm fine.
Yes.
1, I'm sad. I go 3, 4.
3, 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about those feelings? You did say that you're not feeling great. Can you just expound more on that?
I don't know. I just feel like, blah. Like,
Okay.
I don't know. Like, I'm just not motivated to do anything. Nothing really kind of excites me the way it once used to. I just feel like I'm going through the motions every day. Yeah.
And just to reference back, you said you've been feeling like this since July? Okay. And have these feelings been most of the day, nearly every day?
Every day.
Every day since July, okay. And I know you explained that you're not feeling well, kind of have a diminished pleasure in things that you're not motivated to do. Can you tell me a little bit more about like your eating habits? Has that been affected as well?
I tend to eat kind of like very healthy and I guess clean eating, if you call it. And just more recently, instead of like packing a salad for lunch or kind of eating like a meat and a vegetable for dinner, I've just been kind of like eating whatever I want. So like in particular grilled cheese, or like ordering out or getting Five Guys for dinner, pizza, just whatever's easiest and I don't have to cook.
Okay. And how does that make you feel when you're just eating out of the norm? Because I know you said that you usually eat clean. So
I mean, I don't really care.
Okay.
I think normally I would have cared more like what are you doing?
Right.
But I don't know, it's like comfort food that I'm eating.
Okay.
And don't get me wrong, when I eat a salad, I do physically feel better.
Okay.
after I eat this food, I just feel like full and like
Understandable. Okay. So in regards to you eating differently, have you noticed anything with the change of your weight, whether it's gaining or losing?
I haven't even weighed myself. So
Okay.
I just don't care to know. It is what it is.
Understandable. And what about your sleeping patterns? Have you noticed a change in sleeping, whether it's increased or decreased?
Definitely increased.
Increased, okay.
I feel like I'm sleeping at least 12 hours a night, whether it's like a nap during the day or going to bed super early and waking up like at the last possible minute so that I'm not late to work.
Okay.
But yeah.
So you said around 12 hours?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is during the day as well?
Yeah, if I get home from work, I'll be like, I'll go to the couch, I'll watch a movie on Netflix or watch TV, and I'll fall asleep.
Okay.
So maybe I can only sleep like 10 hours at night, but definitely like crashing during the day when I get home from work.
So your sleeping patterns, has that impacted any other network groups such as social or occupational or anything like that?
So I want to say that I've been holding it together for work.
Okay.
I can't be late to work because if I'm late to work, then I might kind of get red flagged or like alert my supervisors to potentially what's going on with me. And then the only other person who would have noticed is my fiance, and I mean, he's home on the weekends with me, and so he knows that I'm like sleeping later than normal. But he is very active and outdoorsy, so he'll be like, "Come on, let's go for a hike," or "Let's go camping this weekend," and will like just call me lazy or just like, "Why are you so tired?" Like he doesn't like you, but he's not, I guess, aware of the other stuff that I'm feeling.
Okay. So he is aware that you're feeling a little lethargic or tired, I should say. So what other things are you specifying about when you say not aware of other things? What the other things will include?
I just don't tell him like what's going on inside my mind that like I feel like I'm just down. Okay. I just let him think that I'm tired or being lazy.
Okay. So am I hearing that your fiance doesn't know that you're feeling sad most of the day, nearly every day? Okay. Tell me a little bit more about your fiance. How's you all's relationship? How did you guys meet?
So actually we met in college, like through a friend. I was actually graduating at that point, and we had met just kind of through friends. And he was just a really good guy. We got together when I was 23. We got engaged about a year ago. We're getting married in December of 2020. Okay. So we started actually like full-on wedding planning in July as well.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes. So it's good. It's a good relationship. He's really supportive. Okay. He doesn't know about this side of me. And
right. So what's holding you back if he's a great guy and you see a future with him? What's holding you back from actually telling him how you truly feel or how you've been feeling lately?
I'm scared he might leave.
Okay. And what's making you scared that he may leave? How's your relationship been as far as when you first met until now? Are there any signs that's telling you that he'll leave if we tell him?
I don't know. I mean, he's never done anything like that wasn't loyal, or he's never cheated, or he's never broken up with me. Right. I don't know. Just he could leave if he didn't like what he saw.
Right. Understandable. So let me go back and ask you a couple more questions in regard to a typical day. Can you explain to me? I know you said that you've been sleeping about 12 hours daily. What is a typical day for you?
So I'll wake up around like 8:15.
Okay.
Sometimes like 8:19 if I can get away with it. I get dressed for work very quickly. And I used to like do my hair. Now I'm just throwing it up in a bun, brushing my teeth, and getting out the door as quickly as possible. I'll go to work until 5. I'll come back 4:35. And if I get home first, I just like kind of sit on the couch and I'll fall asleep. Then my fiance gets home. I don't know. We used to make dinner all the time. We used to like find new recipes and stay up later. But now I just kind of am a big fan of takeout and just kind of chilling on the couch. And,
yeah. Alrighty. So when did you? I'm sorry. I'm just going over my notes really quickly. So it seems like you and your fiance would go out pretty often and do outdoorsy things, as you stated before. What other things do you do to enjoy your free time?
With my fiance?
With your fiance or just by yourself?
I used to work out. I used to go to the gym, but I haven't really been doing that. I like to read.
Okay.
Sometimes it's like just nice to go on a walk by myself.
Nice. Alrighty. So you mentioned that your feelings of sadness has not really impaired your relationship with your job, correct? But it seems as though that you not being so honest with your fiance that it hasn't impaired that either. Other than you thinking that he may leave you, is there anything else that may trigger you to not want to tell him what's going on?
How so?
More so like if you just being open and honest with him, because I know you guys are potentially getting married December 22. So just having an open and honest relationship with him so he knows what he's actually getting himself into with your sadness of, your feelings of sadness or not wanting to do the things that you used to.
Well, I don't know if he's getting himself into something with me. I don't know if I want to be that honest.
That honest?
Yeah.
Okay. Understandable. Now, since having these feelings, have you had have you heard or seen anything while being in this depressed mode?
Oh, I'm sorry, heard.
Have you heard anything out of the normal or seen anything out of the normal?
Kind of like hallucinating?
Yes.
No.
Okay. I'm sorry if I worded that, kind of weird.
It's fine.
So other than your fiance and potentially your job, who else would you consider your support system?
I have a couple of friends from college. One friend I knew from middle school, like elementary, middle school, and she lives out in California, so we keep in touch regularly. Okay. Then my best friend lives like around the block, so
nice.
And she and I are really close.
Okay. And your best friend, she said she lives around the corner, and you guys are really close, obviously, because that's your best friend. Does she know about your current feelings?
No. I've really kind of she knows that I've been tired, but, I don't see her on a regular basis. I don't see her every day, so it's not like just kind of picking up on anything.
Okay. And during these moments of you feeling sad, have you ever felt high energy or like you can accomplish anything, manic, if you are familiar with that verbiage?
No.
No? Okay.
I'll feel like I have energy when I drink coffee. But,
okay.
Yeah, but I have to drink a lot of coffee.
Okay, and when you say a lot of coffee, how much?
2-3 cups.
Is that daily?
Yeah, like throughout the whole day I'll have 2-3 cups.
Okay. Perfect. And then this is a great leeway. Other than coffee, do you engage in any alcohol or any other?
Okay. I just drink like a normal amount.
Okay. And what would be considered a normal amount for you? Like
2-3 nights. Like maybe my fiance will come home and we'll split a bottle of wine and watch a movie.
Okay.
Or if we go out to dinner, I'll have 3 or 4 drinks.
That one night?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you engage in drinking, is it usually just for fun, or are you feeling a little stress, or what's usually the reason why you're engaging in any drinking?
Well, sometimes it's just like nice to take like the edge off of the day. And,
Okay.
I mean, it just relaxes me some nights.
Right.
Other times, if we're going out to dinner, we're usually celebrating, and yeah, just nice to celebrate the alcohol.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you for sharing that. Let's see. Family. Let's talk about your family. Mom, dad, siblings. Do you have any siblings?
So I'm an only child. I do
Okay.
have a half brother and half sister, but I'm not close with them. I don't talk to them at all. My parents are divorced. They got divorced when I was 10.
Okay.
I used to be really close with my grandmother, but she passed when I was 12.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Appreciate it. She had Alzheimer's.
Okay.
So as you know, it was like a gradual process of losing her.
Right.
My aunts and uncles, they're out like on the West Coast. So I don't see them except for like family functions.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that's it for family.
Okay. So you did mention that your grandmother passed of Alzheimer's. Is there any other psychiatric conditions or illnesses that you know of within the family?
So I guess psychiatric, like mental health.
Mental health, yeah, mental illness.
I mean, I don't know,
Okay.
but my mom was like really sad after the divorce.
Okay.
But I was 10, so I don't know if it was normal or not.
Okay. Understandable. I know you said you're not, too close with your brother or your half sister, but do you know if they may have suffered from any mental illness?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
And my dad has cardiac disease. That's the other
Okay.
illness. So.
Alrighty. So we did touch upon your job, but not too deep. So can you give me a little rundown of where you work, what you do, things of that nature?
So I do medical sales.
Okay.
And I started working there when I was 23, so I was right out of college. It is, like, it's not my dream job, but it's, there is, like, room for advancement. Like,
Okay.
right now there are no positions open, but
Mhm.
hopefully in the future. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. And not to be repetitive, but just want to touch upon your social life before having these feelings of sadness. What did you engage in for excitement, just to have fun, just to get out and, enjoy yourself?
So I might go out with friends,
Mhm.
like the girls and I would meet up, and I mean, we still kind of do it
Okay.
like once a month at least. I don't know, sometimes I like to go to the farmer's market with my one friend in particular. We'll do like on a Saturday morning if I'm not
Okay.
out of town. Yeah, I don't know, like bike riding,
Okay.
going to see the monuments, touristy stuff, museums.
Good. Now, since you haven't been out with your friends lately, have they noticed a change in your behavior? And if so, have they questioned you about it?
No, I mean, I saw my best friend last week, so, I mean, she hasn't really caught on to any. They think that, like, I'm just tired, and that's all I keep complaining about, is just being tired, and, yeah. So, but we haven't really they're all my mate, like, in my wedding party, so that they just think, I guess, that maybe I'm stressed with that.
Right.
Wedding planning, so.
Okay.
I don't want to, like, burden anyone.
Understandable. And when you say burden, what do you mean by burden?
I don't want people to, like, worry about me or think something's wrong with me. So, I think that's part of the reason why I just kind of kept it to myself.
Right. Okay. Let's talk about your relationship with your fiance. Now, are you guys currently living together, or do you just...
Yeah, right now we live together.
Yes. Okay. Sounds good. I know this may feel awkward, but just have to screen it for screening purposes. How are you feeling as of right now? Are you experiencing any suicidal ideations or homicidal ideations or anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
None of that? Okay.
No, not now, not yet.
Not yet. What do you mean by not yet?
I mean, like, I felt like this in the past, like depressed,
Okay.
I guess you'd call it. But it hasn't gotten as bad as it has in the past. So
Okay.
I guess I'm trying to be proactive with trying to get it under control before it does get worse.
That sounds good. I'm glad that you are seeking help for that. Can you give me a little bit more information? You said in the past, so you've experienced these feelings before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When did it initially start?
When I was 18.
Okay.
Is like one. I don't know, like when I was 18. But then my mom always kind of described me as like a sad kid or like a down kid. I always kind of was to myself, and I had friends, but I just preferred to like do my own thing a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I did see a therapist when I was a little kid. After my parents got a divorce, I was in treatment for about 6 months.
Okay. And through that, you said for 6 months?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see a difference with the therapy?
I didn't really want to be in therapy,
Okay.
and so as soon as I could not go,
Right.
my mom gave me the option, do you want to go back? And I said, do I have to? And she said no, and that was that.
Understandable. Might get a little personal here, but were you ever prescribed any medication for your, okay. Yeah. What were you prescribed? Do you remember?
Wellbutrin.
Okay. Do you remember the dosage? Okay, 150. And how long were you actually taking the medication?
3 years. I stopped a year ago.
Okay. And have you noticed a difference since you stopped?
Like when I initially stopped, so I felt like I was better. I was doing really good, and I was feeling like I had a lot of energy and not feeling like I am now or have in the past.
Right.
So I stopped, and I mean, I haven't felt anything until like July.
Okay. So, were there any triggers as to why you may have regressed back into the depressive mode after being fine for how long was it? You said you took it for 3 years. So 9 months.
I was 9 months off the meds, and then I started to see something.
Okay. And what feelings did you start feeling after the 9 months?
Just like being tired and not really motivated to do much, and I don't know, just feeling like my body's like lead, and then just like so much work to do anything.
Okay, let me just go over this because I want to make sure that I have it correctly. You said that at 18 you started feeling depressed. That's the first time that you actually noticed these symptoms. And these symptoms were feeling of every day, mostly every day, nearly every day. Okay. And your mother explained to you that you were a sad kid or down. And you actually were referred to a therapist. And you went for 6 months. Is that correct?
When I was like 10. Yeah.
When you were 10. Okay. Didn't really enjoy it. So when your mom said that you could stop, you took.
Yeah,
I
took that out. Oh, yeah.
Right, understandable. And medication, you said 150 for Wellbutrin. Okay. And you were on that for 3 years. Now, let me ask you, you said you noticed at 18 that you started feeling depressed. What was the triggers that actually initiated these feelings at 18?
By like what changes happened?
What changes happened?
I think I started college, and I started college, and I was away from my mom and my dad. I don't know, I was like in the dorms, and it was a lot with classes, and I don't know, I felt like it was just harder to do things than it had been in the past. And yeah, and then I just kind of felt like there were a lot of decisions to make, like what was my major going to be, what classes was I going to take next semester, this is going to take forever to graduate, and I don't know, it just also felt like it'd be easier to like not make the decisions and not have to make the decisions.
So was there anything that you would do to take your mind away from all of this stress that you were actually having?
I'd go out with like friends and
Okay.
and like I don't know, like just do college stuff. Like we'd go out to bars like about like 4 nights a week.
Okay. 4 nights a week you were at the bar, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And being at the bar about 4 nights a week, of course, I don't want to assume, but were you guys drinking?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And can you give me a rough amount of how much you would drink?
Like 4 or 5 drinks. Like, you know, like a couple beers, a couple shots.
Okay,
Just
all
like,
at once? So 4 to 5 drinks and in addition to the shots, or just all together?
All together.
Okay, drinks.
Yeah.
And what kind of liquor did you prefer, or do you prefer?
Vodka.
Vodka, okay. And you said beer as well?
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of beer in
Bud
particular?
Light.
Bud Light.
It's college.
Right, understandable. I've been there. So have you ever been impaired where you were intoxicated or couldn't get back to your dorm because you were too drunk or having too much fun?
Not like that, but
Okay.
I definitely kind of, I would go home with guys that I just met a couple times.
Okay.
There were a couple nights where I went home with, like, guys I just met at the bar. Probably wouldn't have done that sober.
Right. And then the friends that you were with, did they notice the behaviors that you were exhibiting and just was okay with you leaving with these guys?
I mean, they weren't in, like, I guess the best condition either, so
Okay.
I think, like, they just kind of looked and, like, saw that I was okay and
Mm-hmm.
just having a good time, so, yeah.
Okay. So did you guys engage in any unwanted activities with you going home with the guys that you really didn't know?
Actually, yeah, there was one time.
Okay. If you feel comfortable enough, do you mind sharing?
Yeah, it's kind of been on my mind more recently.
Okay.
When I was 20, I went home, or I brought home a guy that I had just met,
Mhm.
and we were, like, hooking up, making out, and it started to kind of go farther than that, and I told him to stop, and, like, I didn't want it, and
Okay.
tried to, like, push him off, and it just didn't go that way, and we ended up having sex, and it was, like, but it was my fault because, like, I took him home, and I was also drinking,
Mhm.
but it wasn't, like, rape or anything.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you actually had to go through that. But when you said it's not rape, so was it a consent?
No.
Okay. Okay. Has this happened more than once? Just that one
Just that
time?
one time.
Okay.
I stopped bringing home guys I didn't know after that.
Understandable. And how did that make you feel?
I was kind of disgusted with myself that I had put myself in that position. But at the same time, I think I did a really good job of compartmentalizing
Okay.
because I didn't tell anyone.
Okay.
I didn't tell
And
my roommates or...
right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with me.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that. Was there a reason why? I know you said you felt disgusted, but was there any other reasons why you didn't want to seek help or, get assistance with this issue that you had?
Oh, I think for reason one, like, I didn't want anyone finding out that this
Right.
happened. I know there are a lot of people who come forward with these things and then are
Right.
accused of, like, lying. So I didn't want to be accused of lying. And then it was kind of my fault. So, like, I felt like I really couldn't get much help.
Well, I do want to let you know that because you said no, it definitely wasn't your fault. So don't feel like, because you brought him home, it was your fault. Definitely not. But I'm so sorry that you had to experience that. Before we go on, is there anything in particular you would like me to know about you, your family history, or anything that may help me create a good treatment plan for you?
There was a question you asked about like I told you, I was in therapy when I was 10.
Mm-hmm.
I also went into therapy when I was 23 too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in your therapy sessions, did you guys? I know you said you probably didn't talk about the experience you had with that guy, but what were your concerns that time going into therapy?
Well, I had like just had, I guess, a really impulsive moment.
Okay.
So I had like, kind of like when I was 18 again, that
Okay.
sometimes it would just be easier not to make decisions.
Okay.
And if I wasn't around, I wouldn't have to make those decisions. So when I was 23, I was fighting with my fiance, boyfriend then, fiance now, in the car. And we were driving, and it was like a quiet road, and he was going a decent speed. And we're arguing, going back and forth, and I'm just feeling like completely overwhelmed, and like there's no way out of this. And I just, my heart was beating fast, and I just thought it would be better if I wasn't around, and I pushed myself out of the car while I was driving. So that's kind of why I went into treatment.
Okay.
That's why I started meds.
Okay. And did you start the same medications, or were you actually prescribed something differently that time?
So the Wellbutrin was the first time I'd ever taken meds.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was the only time?
Yeah.
Okay. Did that incident, of course you went to the hospital, is that correct?
Actually, I didn't need to. I was just
Okay.
kind of scratched up.
Okay.
But, like, I didn't hit my head, although then
So no head injuries? Okay.
No, although I wished I did. I was fine. I was able to, like, walk away from it. And, I mean, we just argued about it, but...
Right. And how many times have that happened? Is that the first time, the last time that you pushed yourself out of the car, or has that happened?
No, it has happened again.
Okay.
It was impulsive.
Right. Impulsive. Okay. So I guess you can categorize that as self-injury behavior. Other than that impulsive reaction that you had to you all fighting, have you had any other self-injury behaviors, like cutting yourself or?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, like, I didn't really think that one through.
Okay.
But, like, I was just trying to, like, end it all. I wasn't trying to get hurt. I was trying to
End your life.
Yeah.
Now, was that the first time you feeling suicidal, where you wanted to end your life, or can you tell me the first time you've actually experienced suicidal ideation?
I was 18.
Anything else that we haven't covered that you think may be useful for the intake?
No.
Okay. A couple more questions, and then I think we'll be done here. And so your family structure, your dynamics, I know you said that your parents got divorced when you were 10. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. During the birth developmental period, do you know if you were full term or preemie?
Yeah, I was full term,
Full
born
term.
like normal vaginal.
And any developmental delays or anything like that?
No, I think I walked at like 12 months and talked to 12 months and did all the things
Okay.
when I should have.
I'm just going over everything just to make sure I have everything understood. Now, what college did you attend?
I went to UMD.
UMD. And can you give me the full, I don't know what UMD is. That University of Maryland?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Awesome. And did you complete it, or?
Yeah, I graduated.
You graduated? Congratulations.
Thanks.
What year did you graduate?
4 years ago. So, 2015.
2015. Awesome. Okay. Medical sales, correct, for your job?
Mm-hmm.
And what did you actually graduate with?
So it was like a BA in Human Resources.
Okay. You should be proud of yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Human Services. And is that the degree that you're actually using right now for your job?
I feel like it was like an overarching major, and I mean, I can answer the phone. I can.
Right.
I don't know. I don't feel like it's directly related to what I went to school with, but it was close enough.
Okay, understandable. Alrighty. A lot of the information that you provided me definitely is going to help me to create a good treatment plan for you. Just a couple of other things. We talked about your eating habits, but we didn't talk about substance use. I know we talked about alcohol, but have you ever indulged in substance use, whether it's using medication as not prescribed or marijuana or anything like that? Okay.
No, never that stuff.
Okay. Alrighty. And do you have any access to guns or anything like that?
No.
You know, you experienced some suicide ideations. I just want to make sure that you're safe. And you did deny having any psychosis, whether that's hallucinations or delusion, hearing or seeing anything.
No, never.
Okay. Perfect. Alrighty. Anxiety. Have you experienced any anxiety where, you know, it's out of the norm, you're worrying about things more often?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Alrighty. Perfect. Alrighty. The coffee, just want to make sure I have that correct. You said 2 to 3 cups daily, around that?
Yeah. It used to do more in the past, though. Now it's just like necessity. But
Okay.
I don't feel like it's really doing
Excuse me.
what it used to do.
Right. So your tolerance level has increased a little bit. Okay. So previous episodes of, let's see. We already discussed your previous episodes of you feeling down and depressed. Said it started at 18. I think that's it, Melissa. I know it sounds repetitive, but I just want to make sure I have everything. Is there anything else that you would like to disclose with me so I can take it back to my supervisor and we can create a treatment plan for you that will be effective?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. You definitely gave me a lot of information that will be helpful. Hopefully we can meet sometime next week. I'll get in touch with you and let you know for sure.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.